This is the final week of January of the year 2021 of our Lord. And I am joined here by a special guest on the program. Tom and Mitchell, introduce yourself to the folk at home.
What's up?
Perfect. What are we watching today, Tommy?
We're watching a little film called A Rainy Day in New York, directed by the wonderful Woody Allen.
That's right. And why is this film so wonderful, Tommy? Can you really sum it up in a small phrase or?
I'm not sure I can, honestly. I mean, we could talk the whole movie, the whole length of the movie about why this movie is so great. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I like it because I think it's funny. I like that it takes place in New York, as the title says, as do a lot of his films. But this one feels particularly New York to me. Maybe because
it had been a while.
Well, it hasn't been a while, I guess.
But yeah,
when was the last one? What was the last one that he made in New York? Whatever Works?
New York City or New York State? Like
proper. New York City, proper. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not talking.
Because there are scenes in Blue Jasmine, which I think are in New York, but it's primarily set in San Francisco, or in like
he's done something since before Blue Jasmine. I mean, Whatever Works came after that, right?
No, that Whatever Works was before that. Whatever Works is 2009, which was followed by You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger in 2010,
which is not
Midnight in Paris in 2011,
which is Paris, yeah,
followed by 2012's
Vicky Cristina Barcelona?
No, Vicky Cristina Barcelona was in 2008.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
That's right. I forget what comes out in 2012, but then you have the series of films he does. There's Irrational Man. There's
Rational Man, which does sort of take place in, doesn't it? No. It's just it's a college town, but it's
New
on
England.
Yeah,
on the East Coast, but not New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has been a while before this that he set an entire film in New York. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it now. Should have been more prepared for this, really. But yeah, you live in New York at the moment. Have for some time now.
A couple of years, yeah.
Couple of years now.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why I like it. Why I like this movie. You know, it's I recognize it. You know, it reminds me of when I walk out the door.
Would you say that it's very akin, that you recognize the locales and the places, and you think, yeah, this is New York as I know it?
Yeah, I'll point out where we are when I know when I see a place I know, I'll point it out to you.
All right, do you know where this was shot? This stuff in Yardley?
I don't know for a fact. I've heard that it was in New Jersey, which makes sense to me. This would be a more affluent area of New Jersey, probably, but I think that's right. This might even be Princeton, for all I know. You know, which could be.
It also looks like East Coast, New England proper, upstate New York.
Well, it is.
Well, yeah,
I mean, it definitely is.
It definitely is upstate New York, but who's to say exactly what college?
I don't know. 21 big ones.
He's got 21 big ones in a game. Well, let's talk. We could talk about this movie all day. First of all, let's just talk about the great dialogue, which is, I think people expect that from Woody Allen film.
Yeah.
And it's different here, though, just because for the first time in a long time, you have primarily really young characters delivering this dialogue.
Yeah, it's definitely. This might even be like his youngest characters, aside from like Manhattan with the. How old is she? Like 14 or something?
Manhattan, 16 or 17, but yes.
Yeah, she's old enough. I can't believe I just said that. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Aside from her, I think these are some of his youngest characters, and to do with the dialogue, it's funny because I feel like I've read a lot of things that their biggest problem with the movie is that these, young collegiate children really are fucking saying all of these I don't know, making references to all of these things that are way from before their time.
Right.
So they have a problem with that, just in terms of the reality of what the kids are saying. But I don't know. I like it. I like it about the movie. I think it works. Right?
No, I agree. Absolutely. Also, I want to correct myself earlier. His last few films before this were set in New York, but set in in a specific way. So Wonder Wheel, obviously set in Coney Island, was
Oh
right
yeah,
before
that's true. I forgot about that.
and Cafe Society is half the time in New
See,
York.
okay, well, all right. What's the similarity between these two movies though?
The young
They're
people,
period pieces.
they're period pieces. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it's New York, but it's not. It's not exactly. He could have fucking shot it on a soundstage if he really wanted to.
Right. Well,
Like
yeah,
Isaac Mizrahi wanted to do in Hollywood Ending. You know.
yeah, exactly. We've got to rebuild all of Times Square and Harlem.
Exactly.
Those are
Exactly.
everything we can reshoot on location except for Times Square and Harlem. I have to build that.
Yeah. It's brilliant. It's wonderful, wonderful. That's exactly what production designers are like too. We got to build everything.
Yeah, you've worked on a lot of sets at this point, first as a PA and now as
This is the Pierre, by the way. It's 59th Street, Fifth Avenue. Yeah.
right, the actual Pier. They say they stay at the Pier, and they do stay at the Pier.
This is it. Yep. That's Central Park right there.
That's something else that's lovely about this movie.
Windows.
Because he lives there.
What's that?
That all the places that he mentions and they go to, they geographically make sense. Like this is not like a stand-in for something else. This is the thing.
Well, I think you'll find, and I have been studying this movie for these reasons, for the geographical locales of it. You know, since I have a lot of time on my hands and I can just do these things. But yes, I mean these are real places, but it's interesting because they don't exactly truly work if you're actually walking from place to place. And if I had a map, I could explain it better. But this is a sound medium.
That's right. Yeah, you could paint a picture with the mind's eye, but you couldn't truly paint a literal picture.
Exactly.
So yeah,
this is Wooster Street.
All right.
This was a fun one to find because it's called the Wooster, right? But there's no such hotel called the Wooster, right? But I knew because I've lived here that there's a Wooster Street just below Houston.
Right.
And lo and behold, I found it just walking down Wooster. And I was like, that's it.
So there is no Wooster Hotel, but that place is.
I mean, this is a real place. This is a real place on Wooster Street. It's a couple of blocks. I think it's between Prince Street and whatever the one just south of it is.
All right.
But yeah, it's there, but it's not a hotel.
Oh wow. So and this interior it could be in the building, but also could just be like
this could be shot anywhere. I mean this probably was shot in an actual hotel at this point, but I couldn't tell you where.
Right.
I don't frequent hotels, honestly. What's that?
Liev Schreiber makes his appearance as Roland Pollard.
Roland Pollard. Yeah.
The film director, Raleigh, as he's known by some. Liev Schreiber, he's a great actor. Let me just say that right off the bat. I'm a big fan. I recently just watched The Day Trippers for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have not.
I mean, the movie is very simple in that it's like a 90-minute like comedy where this family goes into Manhattan for the day because they think that the young wife, she thinks her husband, played by Stanley Tucci, is having an affair, and they go into the city to try and figure it out. And Liev Schreiber plays her sister's boyfriend, and he is just comedic gold in the movie, starting off all this stuff about 18th century poetry and architecture and how it's a dead form. And,
wow, sounds like a Woody Allen film.
Yeah, he sounds like a Woody Allen character, truly, and how he thinks there should be an aristocracy and not a democracy because at least they had taste.
Actually, I think I agree with that.
I think I agree with that too. As terrible as it is to admit, that's what happens when you watch a lot of Woody Allen films. It's like, yeah, I kind of I wish there was more taste in the general population of this country.
So do I. In fact, I feel like that's one of my big things. Is that nobody has taste anymore.
Yeah, I think we're both.
I mean, even this hotel room, it looks nice, but you can tell it's like this is where people go who don't have taste. Like, look at that thing in the back, and that's why. And I mean, and I don't mean that as a knock to Santo Loquesto, but he's capturing the reality of our time. You ask me with the shit in the back, right? And our time is tacky, That's what I have to say.
I'm looking forward to watching his next film, which has already been released in certain countries in Europe.
Mm-hmm. What is it called again?
Rifkin's Festival.
Rifkin's Festival. I got to learn how to pronounce that one properly.
As people have said, or the reviews I've read about it, I can't. First of all, we have to record an episode of that movie once we're able to watch it. but
Well, we have to watch it first,
we have to watch first, and then we
and
can.
then we probably got to watch a couple of times.
Yeah, which won't be difficult. Woody Allen films are very watchable, if nothing else.
Yeah, you can just turn them on in the background, and you'll still absorb them probably.
Like right now, truly.
Yeah.
But people have said, a lot of reviews have pointed out how the cinematography, which is also done by Vittorio Storaro, who is the cinematographer on this, and Wonder Wheel.
By the way, wonderful lighting at the moment.
Yeah, there's all this backlighting on his face and the golden beam on her, and very lovely.
Probably shot in golden hour, as they say.
The golden hour, maybe. I don't know that Woody Allen would ever.
Who knows? Of course he would. Yeah, of course he would.
I don't think he would.
They probably set up some lights in the background for this.
That's the most logical conclusion. Yeah. But they've talked about how the cinematography in that film looks everything is so saturated that it's almost garish.
Interesting.
When we talk about color or lighting influencing setting and tone, I'm almost certain that the film itself and the characters would also be, to some extent, garish.
Yeah.
And just unwelcoming and uninviting.
Well, do you want to talk about that now? Because like I feel like this is one thing that we've talked about with the cinematography in his films lately, in the last 4 or 5 at least, right?
Yeah.
It's how they really do adhere to what is actually going on. Yeah, literally on the screen.
They inform the character, and you could say that this was always true to a certain extent, especially after Gordon Willis working with him and on Annie Hall and all those later films where you get a sense of cinematography and lighting and production, not just lighting, but also just costumes and the colors of wardrobes and everything really influencing character. But it feels like that's been the focal point for the last
recently.
Like
totally.
that's the thing he wants to try out is storytelling through, especially in Wonder Wheel, storytelling through just lighting.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, and I've said this before to you, but the whole idea of that movie is like stage time versus reality time, and like it's brilliant how he uses sunlight to develop that idea.
Right, exactly. It is, I think,
worth noting, fake stage light,
sunlight. Noting that all of his films that he's done, that he shot completely digitally, including this one,
Broadway and Prince Street. So you can see it though; it's on the screen. That's not a fun one. But Dean and DeLuca is no longer there.
Oh no.
Yeah, but the Banana Republic is, and I think that Converse.
So that must have closed down in the last year then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But all his films that he shot digitally, the first one being Cafe Society, that was the first one that was shot completely with digital cameras. Up to that point, there had been like digital intermediates and edited on digital software, but still shot with a negative.
Yep.
And Cafe Society was the first one that was completely digital.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them.
This is Waverly Place, by the way. This was a fun one to find too. Yeah, just go ahead.
No wizards at the moment, but
no wizards there. Yeah.
At Waverly Place, just this dunce.
Yeah.
The single most irritating character who's ever existed in a Woody Allen film.
It's actually fucking true. And this guy has denounced him, apparently, from what I understand. He has the shitty role in this script. And then when the Me Too thing happens, he's like, I deny, I'm gonna give all my money to whatever, Time's Up or whatever the hell.
All $42 I earned that day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's SAG rate is a lot higher than $42, but yeah.
Yes, I was being hyperbolic.
I know you are, but still.
My original point being, I didn't even get to it, that all of his films that he shot digitally have been lit by Vittorio Storaro, all of them. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, Storaro's great.
How to get that out of there?
He's goes well back into the 70s. He shot The Conformist, right?
The Conformist.
He did Black Hawk Down too, which is great. Yeah.
Apocalypse Now. He did Black Hawk Down?
Or
I said Apocalypse Now.
You said Apocalypse Now. I don't know why Black Hawk Down came.
Maybe he shot Black Hawk Down. That I'd be kind of surprised.
That would be incredible, actually.
To find that out.
I think I've seen.
Someone look it up. It doesn't look like a film that was lit by Vittorio Storaro, but who knows? The man's got range, clearly.
Isn't Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what Black Hawk Down is.
Well, it's the war movie.
I mean, I know. God, Jesus, I know it's a war movie. God damn. That's why I got it mixed up with Apocalypse Now.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very similar conflicts. You see.
Yeah.
What were we even talking about? I've got so rattled up.
Storaro.
Yeah, we were talking about Storaro.
Vittorio Storaro.
You can't really talk about this movie without bringing up Wonder Wheel right before it when you think about it.
Go on.
Well, just because Wonder Wheel was certainly the best example up to date. And I think in the memoir, which I have, maybe I'll read some excerpts of it if we have time. But in the memoir, apropos about nothing, he brings up momentarily the films that he's made that he thinks most highly of up to up to when this was written, which was a couple years ago at this point. But he does bring up
Was it
that
written up to a couple of years ago, really? Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
I think this was a Rainy Day in New York. Either he had, this was after he had finished Rainy Day in New York, with like the year when he just didn't make a movie. So last year, I guess, really, or no, 2020 was last year. So a couple years ago, a year and a half, whatever. But yeah, he brings up Wonder Wheel as specifically the drama he's made that he's most proud of to date.
That makes sense.
Which is a fascinating opinion.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. I can see why he appreciates it.
But yeah, Wonder Wheel, the thing that's most notable about it is certainly, first of all, the lighting and just how like long so many of the scenes are. But not but in a way that's so un-Woody Allen, like deliberately paced and very just like drawn out. I say that not as an insult, but just because partially it's designed almost like a play, like a theater play. But what makes it so cinematic is how we see kind of like the advancement of time in a single frame without things really happening, without showing like a clock moving or anything.
Yeah, he's really literally bringing the ideas of cinema and of the stage together in these single shots, and it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
Right, exactly. And in here we see in this film, because it's a comedy, it's supposed to be a light comedy, but how profound this film turns out to be. But
yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's a light comedy, but so we can't be as experimental with
Grove Street and Waverly again. This is actually right down the street from the trawler location.
Okay, so that is geographically sound.
Well, sort of, except that he goes back to the hotel and then comes back to basically where he was to meet Trawler.
Okay.
So it makes sense for the shooting, for the logistics of the shooting. Of course, we were here.
Yeah, we know this street. What's this?
You know this street. This is Minetta Street.
Minetta Street. Yeah, this is
or Minetta Lane, maybe.
A lovely little side street.
Yeah, we maybe in your YouTube video when you post this, you can put the picture of you standing in front of that Mexican restaurant sign.
Yeah, in Minetta
in the rain.
I could do that. I might do that. Now that you said that, I feel like I must. I have no choice.
I mean, you don't have to, I guess. People don't really care.
This scene really is a great example of what we're talking about, though, of how he tries to implement the same ideas, but in a more subtle or just a less abstract way.
Yeah. Well, it is. The lighting in this movie is pretty on the nose, I would say, but that doesn't defeat the purpose of the lighting.
Well, it's a more on the nose, but it's not the purpose. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whereas Wonder Wheel, that's really the thing that you notice.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're watching Wonder Wheel, if you're actually giving it a chance, yeah.
Yes, of the five.
I don't think most people do.
Five people who went to go see it in theaters. I was one of them.
Me too. I watched it. It was the first movie I saw in New York when I moved to New York.
You saw Wonder Wheel.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yep. And it was also the last Woody Allen movie I've seen in New York because none of them have opened up.
That's right. Well, unless you're Nick Pinkerton, he has seen.
Oh, Nick Pinkerton. Yes.
We can talk about him if we want.
We can talk about it. We have plenty of time to talk about Nick Pinkerton. He's a god amongst men.
From the
what are you going to read though? I'm interested in what you're going to read.
I don't know yet. Now I'm just going through because unfortunately it doesn't really have a table of index. I have to vaguely remember what are the great passages. I could definitely read an excerpt from the 100 pages he devotes to Mia Farrow, but that wouldn't be as fun as other stuff. To be quite frank,
it might make some good podcasting right there, though.
Yeah.
There's a really great meme I saw that involved Mia Farrow. And it was just like a picture of her from her youth or something. I guess it's not really meme. It's just like one of those quotes, where they quote somebody, but they have a picture of her or them on it. So the quote, it was the picture of her and the quote just said, I'm going to take the high road because the low road is so crowded.
That's good. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's a good quote, but it's really funny because
Oh, if we want to, here's a lovely little an excerpt now. That's also a fun fact about locations.
uh-huh.
Should I read the whole paragraph? It's a bit long.
I might cut you off when we get to McDougal Street in here in a minute, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We have the most beautiful, lovely, perfect townhouse you can imagine, built over 125 years ago with lots of original detail, many fireplaces, and a sweet garden. Every morning, I clump down the stairs, mysteriously hungover since I don't drink, open the blinds on the ground floor, and there's New York City in its Runyon-esque vitality. If I'm lucky with the weather, it's gray and misty. And in my mind, I hear the strains of Street Scene by Alfred Newman, and I tell myself I actually own a small piece of this legendary island. Then I think of the taxes on the property and my arthritis sets in. In Annie Hall, I had to decide on which block to have Annie and Alvy live, and I picked a block I thought was tree-lined and photogenic, the most beautiful on the Upper East Side. And now I live there, right across the street from where Annie Hall lived. That's a lovely little fun
Yeah,
fact.
I was just there earlier this evening.
How was that?
I look up at his home every time I walk by, and the lights are on generally, and they were on tonight. So I wonder what he's doing. Wonder what he was doing earlier this evening.
If the movie has any merit, it's in that scene where you feel for a split second, oh, something magical just happened. Right?
It's true. It's very true. Yeah.
And if you, oh shit. Wow, that's amazing.
What did you just hit?
I didn't hit
the recorder.
The recorder, yeah, the recorder. That'll be fun to try and edit.
That'll be fun.
The recorder just felt the bass from the speakers was so loud, the rumbling caused the recorder to fall over. It's nice. That's very. Nice.
This is okay. We got here before you ruined it. This is McDougal Street. You've also been here, Fabricio. That is the Cafe Wah, which is a very famous place because Woody used to do stand-up there before he got into filmmaking.
That is correct. You are correct about that.
The Comedy Club, which a lot of people might know, is like 2 doors down from there.
Right.
Yeah.
It brings
actually, this street, let me tell you about this street. This was a lot of fun to find. I think it's shit. What is it? Oh God, what? I got to think about what the name of the street is. But I was walking around the West Village, which is where this takes place, primarily, the movie or the first part of the movie, and I was just walking around, keeping an eye out for these places, and I found this place just randomly. I was like, oh my God, that's fucking it. And then I pulled it up on my phone. I found the screenshot right there that we just witnessed, and I confirmed that it was whatever street it is. It's gonna take me a minute to think of it though. Harry Street, right next to I think Bleecker. Could be wrong about that.
Right.
You want to say something?
No, not necessarily. Now again,
No.
I should have.
No, it was great. It was. Let me just tell you, it was wonderful finding it in that location.
Wonderful. Now we're here with his brother and his brother's wife to talk about his hatred,
fiance.
His fiance. That's true. His fiance. Talk about his vitriolic distaste for his mother.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Talk about poor taste. We can
talk about poor taste.
Talk about poor taste in this scene.
Yeah, actually, when I found the location, it took every ounce of energy for me to not go and knock on the door and ask if I could walk through, just to see if this was the actual place that they shot.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but I don't know that for a fact.
I will say that this book is, for anyone who's interested in picking up the book who hasn't picked up his memoir, apropos of nothing.
Me.
Yeah, you. But I would say that the most interesting aspect of the book, or the most interesting section, is definitely the first third, when he spends his time talking about his childhood and his early career.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of information there that you've probably never heard before, like little tidbits and anecdotes. And then some things where you'll hear them, you go, oh, like that scene in that movie that he did. That's where that's from, clearly.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of that in the early section of the book.
This is why Woody is an artist, First of all, he changes, even though it doesn't seem like he changes, which is a key to being an artist, first of all. And second of all, he uses his life. He uses his life in everything he does. Even whether it's literal or not, it doesn't matter. obviously. But he takes the the raw matter that is his life, and then he morphs it into these wonderful stories. It's his brilliance.
There's also recently I watched for the first time the Sunshine Boys, the television version that Woody Allen did with Peter Falk. I don't know if you've ever seen this.
I don't know. I think I've heard
Yeah,
of it actually.
there's
When is this from?
well, it's originally a Neil Simon play that
Sounds
was
right.
turned into a film in the 70s starring, I believe, Walter Matthau and George Burns. Wah 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 wah, my Kentucky home. Wah 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 wah. And
Nice.
thank you. I practiced that one. And then it was redone as a TV film in the 90s, I want to say, with Woody Allen and Peter Falk as the same comedic duo who's past their prime and older. That's the story. The story of it is that there's this comedic duo akin to something like Martin and Lewis from the 60s.
Yeah.
That was really well known. And then they fell out and haven't spoken to each other for decades. And then they try to get put together in like a scene for a movie. They get offered a bit part if they play together. And Sarah just
something like it's a mad world.
No. But that's definitely what the cameo feels like. But it's and Sarah Jessica Parker plays the niece of Peter.
Wait, when was this made? When was this made?
This version was made in the 90s, the TV movie.
Okay.
96, I want to say, something like that. Early 2000s at the latest, but I think it was late 90s. And Sarah Jessica Parker plays the niece of Peter Falk's character who tries to convince them to work together. Here's a little tidbit about that in the book later on when he goes through all the stuff he's done. While I'm on the subject of the Broadway theater, I was asked to be in a TV version of The Sunshine Boys, a Neil Simon comedy. The movie version with George Burns and Walter Matthau was Herb Ross's best picture, and of course his two leads were superb. The TV redo fell to me and Peter Falk, a very gifted actor who was always fun to talk to and drove the director a little crazy with his many demands and quirks, while I was, as usual, an angel. No back talk, no questions, knew my lines, tell me where to stand, tell me what you want, I'll do my best. Sarah Jessica Parker, then not the big deal she became, but no less talented, played the female lead beautifully. There was lots of coverage, which necessitated shooting each scene over and over from every angle with every possible field size. And then he goes on to talk about how, as a filmmaker, he does not care about shooting from every angle and how he doesn't care about getting the shot right and how it's more important to him to like see the Knicks game at 6 and be done by then. And that's that's an interesting part of him as a filmmaker is that there's this weird, it's self-deprecating and it's not.
Well, I mean, you saw it in this scene right here, or well, not this exact one, but in the previous, right, where we were watching the dialogue here.
Yeah.
All one shot. That was all one shot. It was literally just a lateral move through the house, through the first floor of this house, as we're the camera's panning with the characters, right? But you don't even. It doesn't. Why do you need several shots? You could do it there. I mean, that's very difficult. That's an incredibly difficult shot to do, but
so many of these scenes, if not all of them, I mean, besides when we're like cross-cutting from one location to another, so many of just the dialogue scenes are done in one master, and there's really no close-ups or anything, which is so impressive.
This movie to me is wall to wall. That one scene in Touch of Evil that nobody remembers because everybody's obsessed with the opening shot of Touch of Evil, right?
Right.
Do you remember the scene when I forget exactly what's happening, but he's like trying to plant the
evidence,
the dynamite,
evidence
in the Mexican guy's home or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's that's all literally one shot. Like that shot is brilliant, not because it's one shot. Who cares about one shots? But it's brilliant because he hides it all. And it's economical. It gets you everything, and on top of it, it's like fucking. He like hides the dynamite at one point. Like they literally had to hide the dynamite.
Yeah, it's brilliant
or whatever. It's brilliant, and that's what this movie is to me. It's just wall to wall. That this is one shot.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive, but
Well, that's the thing. They don't have to be impressive. They just have to be like precise and get the point across.
She did her hiccuping right then and there.
We got that the first
one shot.
A callback. That's something else. As a screenwriter, I've certainly started to appreciate this in the last few years, just how well written most of his films are, just arbitrarily.
Yeah.
It's at this point he doesn't even have to try. Like the screenwriting of it is so perfect. How he hits the beats, he knows how to get the jokes in, and he knows how to advance the plot and like call back to something earlier.
I mean, say what you will about his like filming technique, which has been developing, you know, since the beginning. I mean, he really, I mean, it didn't take him long to become a great screenwriter. You know,
No,
I
he was
mean,
always a great
fucking
writer.
Annie Hall, even though you know it's all in the editing with that. By the way, this is Varick Street.
Oh yeah,
Varick and I think Moore is right there. But yeah, but I mean, like Annie Hall, which is you know all
notoriously,
it was all made in the cut
yeah.
essentially, right? There's a great book on that, which I wish I could remember what it's called, but the that the editor wrote. I would recommend it.
Ralph Rosenberg.
Where he talks about, yeah, Ralph Rosenberg, where he talks about what they did. Brilliant, really great book. But what was I getting at? Screenwriting.
Rosenbaum. Rosen something. Rosencrantz.
Rosen something, yeah. Rosencrantz, okay. Gilderstein, whatever. They all die in the end. You know, it doesn't matter.
We all die in the end.
Exactly.
Really. Like his movies tell us.
Exactly. But the point is, I mean, Annie Hall is a great script, you know, and fucking Bananas just before it. That's a great script too. It's, you know, it's truly funny, but I mean, but then I mean, like with Annie Hall, like you definitely got a great screenplay there, even if it's butchered or whatever. You know?
Right. You could, yeah, Manhattan, and the best of films like Manhattan or Hannah and Her Sisters, he'll notoriously say how they didn't come out the way he wanted them to. How they like there's like on the screenwriting level, they're so good, but when he saw the film version, it's like, no, that's not quite what I was going for. I would rather not. I'd rather redo this film if possible.
Yeah.
So he's not a perfectionist, but at the same time, he has high standards. That's the thing. Like he's always shooting for Citizen Kane, which is ambitious, of course. But
he's ending up with Citizen Kane. He just doesn't think he is.
That's right. Yeah, that's certainly how we feel about it. We're probably two of the biggest Woody Allen nuts around at this
out there. Yeah,
out
totally.
there
they definitely
at the
are.
moment.
By the way, I just want to say about this before they cut away. That is not real. This is not accurate to New York. I don't know where they were shooting, but you can definitely tell in that shot that they are not driving up University Place, which is where they're supposed to be. This right here, this is 13th and Greenwich. This is a wonderful little location. Jackson Square Park is right behind where the camera is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful spot. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Good to know. Their cab ride is probably a little more realistic, but you know, it's a little too hard to tell where exactly they are. But
do we want to talk about the actors now in this film? Because first of all, the film is packed with just a lot of great actors who appear for 5 minutes. But really, we can talk about the 3 stars of the film, right? Timothée Chalamet, Selena Gomez, and
Timothée. Yeah. Yep. All of them. Oh, they're all great.
They're all great.
What's interesting is I would say that they're all probably pretty middling actors. Like they're not really great, but they're great in this movie, right?
Well, which is the truth of a lot of his films. They're not. It's not that he gets the best actors. He gets the best actors for the parts, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're very well cast films. 100%. Which I'm assuming a large part goes to Juliet Taylor, who does the casting for most of his films up to, I think, she did the casting for Rainy Day and I think Rifkin's Festival.
Did she retire or something, or did she cut her ties off with Woody?
I don't think she cut her ties with him, but I know that I heard that she was planning on retiring, or maybe she did retire.
Yeah,
so that might have been. But even if she did retire,
so that's 2 casting directors he's lived through.
Yeah, that's true.
What was her mentor's name? Protege? Not protege.
A mentor. Mentor. She's the protege. He's the mentor.
Yeah, exactly. Who? What the hell is her name? She's the super famous casting director that everybody is obsessed about. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about the actors.
Yeah, well, I want to say first of all that in general, I'm not a big fan of Timothée Chalamet. I have to say that right off the bat.
Timothée Chalamet.
Chalamet. I'm not a big fan.
Okay, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. You gotta give that to him.
No, of course I have to give him that.
You kind of got the look on going. I mean, people can't see you right now, but you kind of got his look with the hair.
Well, I think he's probably a better-looking man than me, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
Well, Fabricio, dare to dream. We can't all be, incredibly good-looking people like Timothée Chalamet
or Tommy Mitchell, but
Thank you, but that's not true. He is definitely a lot better looking than I am.
Well, I was referring to Thomas Mitchell, the actor from the 1930s. And
Oh, of course, yeah.
he is a
I
really.
am more attractive than Thomas Mitchell.
No, I don't know about
Please.
that. I think Thomas Mitchell's a very beautiful man.
He is beautiful. He's yeah. Oh, my God. You want to talk about great actors?
Oh yeah, we can talk about great actors. We can talk about Thomas Mitchell. But
Talk about Thomas Mitchell for
Selena
hours.
Gomez, you're not as big a fan of her in this film as I am. She, to me, is the star of the film.
Well, yeah, it is interesting. We're definitely. I'm a bigger fan of Elle Fanning in this, and not because at one point in my life I was slightly obsessed with Elle Fanning for no real reason. I don't know. It's a weird point in my life. We can discuss it, but yes, I prefer Elle Fanning to what's her
Selena
name?
Gomez.
Selena Gomez. Thank you. Yeah, but I do think Selena is great in that. I mean, this is a wonderful performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really handling a lot of just the jokes in the script. She has the part that you would probably give to Diane Keaton in another film.
Exactly.
She's she's just giving off all these barbs, and she has a similar voice to Miley Cyrus. I don't know if it's that they're both from Texas. I think they are both from Texas. That could be it. But they also have this kind of
Miley Cyrus from Texas? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is from Texas.
Oh,
And I think Selena Gomez was raised in Texas too.
I would have said that just because they're both from Disney. You know?
Well, that was my second point. First, that they're from Texas.
Of course.
They probably have similar drawl, but also that they have this kind of Disney training where it's all about hitting your marks, standing in the right spot, getting the beats, and that's like that's the important.
Well,
thing.
I mean, that is a thing. I mean, don't they say that about Disney child actors, that they're fucking like on it every time?
Yeah,
they know how to act. They know the art of acting.
Exactly.
Or not maybe not the art, but the craft of it. Yeah, thank you.
Just knowing how to say your line as good every time. The most famous example, and I guess it all depends on who you like, but to me, the most famous example of that is Kurt Russell, a child Disney.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, he was brought up in the Disney system. His first film, I forget what it was called, but it was a film. His appearance was in an Elvis movie. He has like a bit part in a scene where he's acting against Elvis.
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and John Carpenter says
later to be in that heist movie where he dresses up like him with
and also
Elvis in person. What is that movie called? Oh yeah, that's right. He also plays him too. That's right.
No, you're thinking of you're confusing him with Patrick Swayze in Point Break.
No, I'm not confusing him with Patrick. I've never seen Point Break, and I don't plan on it. This is Fifth Avenue and 96th Street. Go ahead.
Oh no, wait, you're right. No, yeah, he's played Elvis a couple times, but I mean, he played Elvis in the John Carpenter television.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I know what you're referring to there. But there's also a heist movie which I don't know what the title is, but he like the idea of the actual heist in the film is that him and all of these other guys dress up like Elvis and then they rob the bank or whatever the hell it is. And it's been years since I've seen this movie, and I had no idea what it was, but it stuck with me.
How old was Kurt Russell? Oh, The Art of the Steal.
Is that it?
That's got to be the one you're thinking of.
I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't know the title if it was given to me by God. But yeah, but that could be. I guess I don't know.
That has to be it. That has to be the one. That's like the only heist movie I know him in.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
That has to be it. And Gabe Barachel's in that film.
All I remember is that there's also he's got a side piece who he picks up. I think it takes place in Vegas. I mean, it must, right? With Elvis impersonators. But his side piece, this woman has a child who has toy revolvers and dresses like a cowboy. It's really good. It's a really cool look, and that's probably why I remembered the movie because I wanted to be this kid. But yeah.
All right.
That's all I had to say about it. But yeah. It's a good movie from what I remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember much. All right. Did none of that ring a bell with you? The kid with the guns?
No.
It's a different movie. Then it's not The Art of the Steal.
Well, I've never seen The Art of the Steal.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't make that clear. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen. Got to prioritize. Either I watch Rainy Day in New York for the 15th time, or I watch The Art of the Steal for the first time. Those are my choices.
I'd probably choose Rainy Day too.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. Well, everything happens to us. So
Did you remember? I don't know if you noticed, like this hotel, her hotel that she stays at, wherever this is. Do you know which one this is?
this isn't a hotel. This is a private residence. This is at Fifth Avenue in right next to the park. It's an unbelievable area. Like these buildings are crazy. They're crazy opulent. Like this is one of the things that I really like about this movie is that all of the characters are incredibly rich. And it doesn't exactly, I mean, you know it, you can tell just by looking at them or whatever, but they're also somewhat normal too, to a certain degree, but it's not, he doesn't touch on how wealthy they are specifically, but he keeps it there. Like her parents own this build, or not this building, probably just this apartment or whatever, on Fifth Avenue, on the east side, Upper East Side, right next to the park, right? It might be lower, so they don't have a very good view, but it's still incredibly wealthy. And they go to the East Hamptons, for the weekend. Like how rich can you get? As far as I'm concerned, like that's the wealthiest family in New York City.
This is like rules of the game in that sense.
Truly, yeah.
This is at the same level, I think, as rules of the game. I think it's just as good a movie.
I would kind of agree with you, sort of. I mean, the rules of the game has got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's just the camera work and all of the, like
the camera work.
Shut up. Shut up. I didn't think that I was going to have to talk about the rules of the game right now, but, an hour ago. But the rules of the game is a brilliant film.
Yeah.
Can't knock it. It's maybe not my favorite Renoir, though. I have to think about it, though.
Yeah, we don't have to think about that right now. If you want to come back to it later. Selena's outfit right now, really on point. Let me tell you. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, her running shorts. Yeah.
Her running shorts and her orange sweater.
Looks like, is it Velma, right?
Yeah, she does look like Velma.
Yeah. Wait, what's the other one? Daphne. Daphne is the blonde, right? Yeah.
I was always more of a Velma guy anyway. She was thick.
Oh, I mean, everybody is, right? Because she's got the glasses, right? She's got the chopped bob.
Yeah, the chair.
She's got like rectangular glasses, though, right? They're not circle.
Well, they're going to change. I think they changed from iteration to iteration because there's been 15, 16 different.
Well, come on, please. We're talking about the actual show, not like the one where they probably talk like robots or some shit,
What?
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the Looney Tunes. Didn't the Looney Tunes do like a weird?
They did a
modern update.
They did. There was baby Looney Tunes, right? And there was also.
I remember that. Yeah.
There was a Looney Tunes not the movie of Looney Tunes Back in Action, but there was like an action cartoon where there were superheroes. Mm-hmm. It's called Looney Tunes Unleashed, or I remember watching that as a kid. They weren't robots.
Strange.
They were.
No, this is okay. This is an interesting one, right? This is an interesting. The Albert Hotel, right? Yeah. So this is on University Place and I believe 10th Street. Yeah. This is in the Village. This, interestingly enough, is linked to Rear Window, right? Because Jimmy Stewart's character in that movie lives in the I guess he lives in the West Village technically. But this is where he calls Thorwald and tells Thorwald to meet him when he's trying to get him out of the apartment so that he can. So he says, I can't do the voice. You're gonna have to do it. Meet me at the Albert Hotel's bar or whatever.
Meet me at the Albert Hotel bar.
You got it. Yeah. In 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes. Yeah.
That'll buy us about a half hour.
That's pretty good, Tom. I don't know what you're talking about. That's pretty good. I'll buy us half an hour. Oh. I love this scene.
It's a great scene.
I almost just want us to shut up for a second so we can listen to this. Okay.
And there's just Starlet. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You've been having an affair with Larry Lipschitz.
Yeah, and you were spying on me with who? Your 15-year-old concubine.
She's a journalist.
Oh, I'm 21.
She's 21.
Oh, she's 21.
She's a journalist.
I have proof of age,
You don't need to. You don't need to.
This always happens in bars.
She pulls her ID out.
I would like to make a press release about my husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can I write this down? Sure. Go
Ashley,
ahead. Ask him how many times he has been unfaithful to me.
She's demented. You're
The
demented.
secretary, the actresses, the
She's writing it down.
poetess.
The poetess.
The poetess.
Lexi. She Stop filling your head with lies. Ashley, come here. Take this address to the studio. Okay, find Raleigh. Come on. Find Raleigh.
I don't know my way around New York.
It's okay. Tell the cab driver.
Ask him if he
Find
ever
Raleigh.
slept with Samantha Leroy.
Stop.
You know, the Argus is not a tabloid. Yeah, there are no papers that are not tabloids.
Encourage him about the movie so he doesn't mangle it.
He's right about that, by the way.
Okay? Please, don't print any of this.
Oh, don't worry. We always protect everybody.
I'm sure. Tommy,
Oh, that's
It really is
wonderful.
brilliant. I mean, you see it there. I mean, we didn't end up talking about the actresses, but I think that's an incredible scene with Elle Fanning.
Yeah, no,
mean-
Fanning is really this is like a star turn for her. Even though she's already a big actress, everyone knows her. This is really the most impressive thing she's ever done.
100%. I mean, she's like Katharine Hepburn in any one of the screwball comedies that she's in.
Like the good ones, like bringing
Yeah,
up
the
Baby.
good ones. Yeah, bringing a baby in.
Where's baby?
Where's baby?
Oh, a John
This
Singer
is your
Sargent.
kind of a drawing.
That's the John
Oh, yeah,
Singer
we're at the
Sargent right
Met.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the Met. Yeah.
You love Singer Sargent. He's one of your favorite painters, isn't he?
I do like Sargent a lot. That's Renoir. Speaking of
That's an Auguste Pierre. Yeah.
Goose, yeah.
His-
Yeah, I like Sargent. Sargent's great. Sargent's great, and there's another affluent, wealthy people thing or whatever being painted by Sargent. It's another reference to the wealth in this movie.
Yeah, a subtle reference. to it.
Subtle. His mother would like to be painted by Sargent in just that pose, because we're gonna find out something else about his mother a little bit later on. For those who haven't seen.
Yeah, for those of us who haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah. The Impressionist wing of the Met is really great. Did we go there when you were here?
We must have. I don't remember the room exactly, but I do remember the last time we were at the
Well,
Met.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not even sure if I.
That room
this
actually
room
that's there.
specifically.
I remember this area because I remember we were trying
Yeah.
to find it when we went there, or at least I was trying to find it. And
Yeah.
I think they had moved some of the paintings around, but the general, like that maroon room next to this gray room,
Yeah.
that painting at the corner, that door is still there. I remember sitting down in that room thinking, my God, this is where they shot those scenes.
It's incredible, right? It's one of the things that I like about movies too. It's like you can go to the actual spots if they're around, I guess.
Camera is
But
still
like I mean, because a camera has to be in a real place. I guess sort of. It can be in a real place, I should say.
Right.
And people can actually go to these places and like understand what's going on. That's what's so great about the French New Wave. What are you looking at over there? Oh, you're still looking at that. You finding anything good?
well, so again, he brings up Portnoy's complaint for a second. I'm trying to figure out why.
I haven't actually read that one, but
You haven't read
Uh,
Portnoy's complaint? I would have
no, I
figured that
haven't
would be
read
one of
Portnoy.
the ones you really would have to kind of
I mean, yeah. Sometimes I like to avoid the really popular ones. I mean, I love Philip Roth. For those who don't know me out there in the internet, but I like to avoid. Sometimes I like to avoid like the really popular ones. I can't think of another example off the top of my head, but yeah, we were here. Do you remember that?
Yeah, keep talking.
There's no they actually had to do a loop in this area because there's no actual wall, but they do come around. I find that interesting for some reason. Yeah. Fabricio, you're killing me. Now this area right here, we went to specifically because I knew where this was before we had even gone, like with the hopes of finding this or like finding the locations at the Met or whatever.
We still
But
have
this we found out cannot be true, right? Do you want to explain this?
Well, when we went to the actual location of the Egyptian tomb, we were able to go inside through like a little hallway. But then when you go to the left or the right, there are the passageways, but they're blocked off by.
Yeah, they're like
signs.
flanked. Yeah, but it's not like these tunnels are connected in like some kind of circular thing.
Which is what it suggested here.
Which is what suggested.
It seems like a fucking house almost. The way they're moving it from door to door, from room to room and hallway.
Yeah.
When
I
you go
think I mean I wonder if we really studied this scene, if like maybe we could find something about it. Did it pause?
No, I guess no, it's fine now, right? Yeah, the image
Yeah,
just
there you
froze for a second. But yeah,
This is in Kaufman Studio, but this is in Astoria. This is a real place.
which
It's
is
a
in
real
Queens,
studio.
right?
Yeah.
All right.
The Museum of Moving Images right around there, which I've never been to, but
Is it impressive?
I hope to.
That entrance is the
Kaufman
same.
Studio? Yeah.
That
Yeah,
entrance-
it is a really place. I mean, I've never shot anything there because nothing that I've ever worked on is that large budget. But yeah, go ahead.
The entrance to this Egyptian tomb, that is the same, except there's like a little sign near the front of it that was telling you about it. That was removed probably for the shot, but that entrance is the same. But when you go inside, there are not so many rooms and doors.
I think there was like a showcase too that was moved for that shot too. I think that's something else that we found out.
Yeah, we did try to. We sent a letter to Woody to see if he would clear it up for us, clarify what happened. But of course, we never got a response.
No response.
Or at
Which
least
is
maybe
fine.
we did, but it got lost in the mail. That's also possible.
Possible.
The U.S. Postal
Possible.
Service has gone down in years in the last few years, so it's quite possible that we did get a reply. We just
It's possible. I trust the post office. I don't think Woody would reply to us, but you know.
he's too busy writing another film, another film set in Paris.
Exactly. I mean, I know where he lives. I could just knock on his door at some point, you know.
Yeah, they'll probably ask you to leave quietly and never come back. But
Yeah. Sun Yi comes out. What are you doing here?
what are you doing? Leave us alone. Yes, I'm
No
sorry.
Me Too here. No Me Too.
Actually,
That's what I imagine. Every time I think about, like, every time I walk by and like think about, like, if I actually ran into him, it always pops into my mind that he'll be like, I can't talk to this kid. He probably thinks I'm a child molester, you know, which I don't think that,
no,
Woody. But he doesn't know that about me.
no, he doesn't know that about either of us. How could he? Unless he's read our letter.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, his assumption would be that we do think that, though, because we're young and we're of a certain persuasion, right? So, you know, it's just the sad truth of the matter right now.
Right. Diego Luna, he's playing a bit of a Don Juan character here. This movie is very.
Museum of Moving Images in the background right there. I don't know. You can't really tell, but yeah.
This movie is very. It reminds me a lot of a Fellini film I saw in my youth once called The White Sheik, I believe.
I know it. I've never seen it.
And it's got a similar plot, really, where you have two characters who are in that film. They're engaged. They're supposed to be married that day, but then they get split up, and they have their own little side adventures. And the wife gets caught up with these movie stars in this film that's being shot out somewhere, and just like in this movie. And the husband is trying to find her, like Timothée Chalamet is. And it really, all of his films, up after a certain point, especially after Annie Hall, they're either very Fellini-esque or Bergman-esque.
Oh, totally,
right?
totally. Yeah.
Those are like the big cinematic influences.
When you were saying all that, I mean, what was popping in my mind was the Roberto Benigni section in
For Rubber Glove.
Yeah. Right.
That's very Fellini-esque. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Once again, this is the Met. This is the front of the Met, Fifth Avenue, and I believe 82nd Street.
Actually, this was actually a set, Tommy. They rebuilt the entirety of
Oh, how can I forget? Yeah.
That's right. We have to rebuild. We can do everything on location, but the Met we have to rebuild.
Famous movies that are shot in this location. Can you think of any? I got one.
Well, I'm sure I could if I wasn't put on the spot, but now that I am, I can't think of any.
The only one that comes to mind for me is Dressed to Kill.
Oh, yep.
Which actually wasn't shot in the museum because for whatever reason the inside stuff from that movie is at the Philadelphia Museum, which is a great museum too. I don't know if have you ever been to Philadelphia? Philadelphia is a great city. You should go there.
Oh, I've heard mixed things about Philadelphia. We could talk about this.
Oh, Philadelphia is great. You should go to Philadelphia.
I heard it's very dirty.
So what?
Well, I don't care about that, but it's described to me as a turnoff. So I will have to know. No,
Who told you that? Who told you that?
That's not important.
Okay, all right, sure.
We'll bring up the lady's name.
Oh, okay, all right.
We'll bring up the lady's name on this.
All right. I can't imagine who you're talking about.
Okay, we're back with back at the ranch. We're here with Diego Luna.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah.
Sometimes I really do hate how we were very clearly brought up on certain film. We're certainly film students, and it does annoy me the way we talk sometimes. I have.
Yeah, it annoys me too. I hate film people as well.
Film people are the worst.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
I find that the deeper you get into anything, any subject matter, you know, like film people get into film, right? The more losers you find.
Exactly. The best thing is to be slightly knowledgeable about everything, but completely aloof about everything.
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
best way to be.
Like Woody Allen.
Like Woody Allen, truly an autodidact, if there ever was one.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I'm actually noticing this time around, watching the movie, like half watching the movie, are the watches. Of these watches that these characters are wearing.
That's
It's
true.
very interesting.
They,
Did you catch the scene at his brother's when the watch like came off of his wrist a little bit and he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to like rebutton it? Fascinating. I've never noticed that before.
I wonder if that was just a thing he did for himself as a thing to do in the scene.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
In order to find out for myself. Yeah.
That is something that he's also notorious for, is giving very little direction. And for some actors, they love that because like, oh, we just go up, we do our thing, you know, within certain confines. Of course, he doesn't let them go crazy, but you know, it gives them a chance to like try things out and see what it works. Other actors kind of flounder with that kind of, they need direction. Like Josh Brolin kind of famously said that he was like the kind of guy where he wished Woody Allen would tell him if he was doing a good job or not, but he wouldn't say anything. He would just say, okay, we can move on. No, that was good. That was fine. He needed that encouragement, though. Something he did say about Naomi Watts, because they worked in the same film, You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger. What he has to say
Which
about
I've never seen. I've never seen that one.
That's probably one of my, well, I can't, I'm not going to say anything about it just because I feel like I need to rewatch it. I saw it once before I had seen every Woody Allen film that I've seen now. At the time, it was probably one of the films I considered a lesser work.
Yeah.
Now
I'm on a popular one, definitely.
I'm almost certain that it might be a great work if I watch it a second time, just because the content of the movie is very overtly the things that Woody Allen seems to think a lot about, like just how meaningless life is, but also how if you like imagine that there's meaning to it, your life instantly becomes better. It's like if you're dumb enough to believe certain things, then your life will be better than people who are smart but also miserable.
Interesting. I'm gonna definitely have to watch this one now.
Got Anthony Hopkins, Josh Brolin, and I think also it has I forget the actress's name.
Just watch her hands, the way her hands like do that. Like it's this scene is incredible to me too. I'm sorry that I like her in this movie so much, but
no, this is great. This is why I knew we could talk about this movie together, because you have a lot to say about
I become loose and you know, and I wish people could see me right now. I've never done this before in my life. This hand gesture.
You look like Audrey Hepburn when you do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look like Audrey Hepburn in a funny face with your black outfit in the Bohemian Club. Yeah.
Quaint is how I would describe him. Quaint.
Oh, and now he's showing up for the poker game.
Yep. Clandestine.
I also think in real life, Woody Allen at one point had that's certainly what he was doing, especially when he was over working on the James Bond film, the Casino Royale parody film he was in back in the 60s.
I think it's just called Casino Royale, right?
Yeah, Casino Royale. All he did was just gamble all day when he wasn't in a scene, because he was there the whole time. He was paid as if he was like an actor in the whole film, even though he's in like one specific part of it.
Yeah.
He's
Jimmy Bond, right?
Yeah, Jamie Bond.
Yeah. Jimmy, I think it is. But
Jimmy Bond, you're right.
But this is you want to talk about wealth too? He's a gambler. I mean, maybe not affluent or whatever, but I mean, this is an interesting aspect of the movie.
Yeah, that's
too.
a rich man's vocation, to be a gambler.
Totally. I mean, look at all these assholes at this table. You know, they're what? They're rich. They're rich.
Honestly, I think I might have that same watch that he has. Now that I'm looking at it, the wrist is the same.
Nice.
Anyway, that's not.
That's
nice.
It's nice. The watches are interesting. Watches are interesting to look
It's
at.
not important that it's like my watch, but it is. Watches in general are important.
For those who can't see what's going on, Fabricio is dressed as the character.
It really is just for me.
Literally head to toe dressed exactly like Timothée Chalamet is right now.
In this scene, yeah.
He's even got the same hair.
Well, that's unintentional.
Kind of shoulder, like just above shoulder line.
Yeah, it's not as I would have to do.
It's not as wavy. Yeah,
it's not as wavy. Because mine's thinner. He's got thicker hair than me.
He does have thicker hair.
If you had that length, you could pull it off.
My hair doesn't grow long like that. I mean, it does, but it doesn't work that way. It really more grows out than it does down. What's that?
like an afro. I love this. Is just a lovely little visual gag. How he keeps pulling out more
Mhm.
money from all of his pockets.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's fake though too, which is funny, I think, but not important.
No, it's not important. Although, really, didn't have to be fake. They could have gotten the
This is
Oh.
that I should also find out what these locations are too, because this is an important thing in movie making. There are hidden locations, right? Because they definitely shot all of this stuff themselves, right?
Yeah, it's not.
And so they had to actually go to places. So I should figure out where those places are too. But that looks like Midtown, you know, like 42nd Street area, 6th Avenue. But I don't know that for a fact. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that look. Oof.
He looks. Yeah, he looks.
Oof. He's heartbroken.
Now we're into a night. It's almost day for night kind of look.
Yeah. This is again 5th Avenue. This takes place. This movie takes place on 5th Avenue. If you ask me, that's the park right there. As you can tell, he's walking north, which is interesting. Now here we are, the Bemelman Bar, the Carlisle on 76th Street, I believe.
Were you inside? Did you go?
This is great. I've never been here. I've never been here because it's like one of those bars where you have to like pay like a cover to get in because everybody wants to go there. But this place is fascinating because I mean it's the bar at the Carlisle, but it's also so these paintings in the background, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who Ludwig Bemelman is? It's the guy who did the Madeline series, right?
Oh, all
so
right.
he handed all of this artwork in the background for like they didn't pay him literally. They didn't pay him money. They gave him accommodations for like 2 years or something at the hotel,
Right.
so that he would do all of this, right?
That's pretty good.
So it's neat. It's a neat place. I'd like to go there, but also I don't really care that much. It's in the movie. I can just look at it.
That's right. It's here.
But it's also like $20 for like a cocktail or something. It's like I don't
really?
like cocktails that much. Yeah.
Here's Suki Waterhouse,
Mm-hmm.
an actress who is still really not as well known as you thought she would be by now.
Yeah, it is a little surprising.
He said, completely uncaring. This is a very apathetic feeling towards Suki Waterhouse. I only know her from one other film, The Bad Batch. We saw that from Anna Lilium Report. We saw that together in theaters.
Well, I was about to say we once saw it together.
We saw the director was there.
I believe we both had mixed feelings about it. Or at least I mean I know I did.
I probably had similar but more positive than you. But yes, that was the film, the same screening, the notorious Music Box screening, where she was accused of being a racist.
As I recall, yeah.
Do
you remember right after that question was asked? You remember Arian going out to ask his own question?
Yes, Ariana, who's someone we know personally.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, he went to ask a question, but also he went to thank her for being Persian and making movies.
Exactly, yeah, because he himself is Persian.
Which is good a reason as any to thank anyone for making movies. Sure. I'm not even Persian, and I thank Persian people for making movies.
Yeah, thank God for Persians.
Thank God for Persians. Mohsen Makhmalbaf and
you pronounce it really well. I don't think I can pronounce.
Abbas Kiarostami.
Kiarostami, of course. Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful filmmakers.
I make dreams come true.
She is a woman of the night. She is a lady of the cloth, specifically the fishnet variety. She's a hooker.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that one before for Mauricio.
Well, I'm known for my dalliances, my way around town. Notoriously, of course.
I'm not going to ask the question that's popping in my mind right now. Don't worry about it. How'd you like to make 5,000?
The third act of this film is really...
To do what? It really goes off the rails.
It goes off the rails, but then it becomes a completely different film in the final act, in some ways.
Truly.
When we are introduced to the mother character played by Cherry Jones.
Cherry Jones, yeah.
Who is really not very well known for her film work.
Is she better known for her stage work? I didn't know.
Television is what I was going to say.
What is she on? I don't know anything that she's in.
I could be confusing during the period of my life where I actually watched television, but I believe she was a pretty important character on the show 24, or
Oh, was she really? I don't
one of
remember.
those
Yeah.
primetime action espionage shows that were actually
Yeah.
pretty popular. That's probably
As I recall.
that's probably the most well-known thing she's done.
Maybe. The movie that comes to mind right away that she's in is Ocean's 12. She plays Matt Damon's mother. Or spoiler alert, sorry everybody.
That's true. She's also in a couple of M. Night Shyamalan films.
Oh God.
She's in Signs as the police officer.
This is 78th Street. They're walking towards Fifth Avenue.
That's great.
Go figure. Go figure.
Madison.
This is probably not accurate. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that actually. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It would depend on where the party's being held, where the home is.
Yeah, I guess, which I don't actually know.
Yeah.
So it could be on 78th Street, but
Swing Away, Merrill. Yeah, Signs, which also has Joaquin Phoenix, who of course is in Irrational Man, the other Woody Allen film.
it's a great one too.
That's another great one that we saw in theaters together.
Okay,
Yeah.
masterpiece right there. Yeah. I think we saw that on my birthday.
Very well
right?
might have been. It might have been.
Yeah. Gene Siskel Film Center. Yep.
At the Gene Siskel Film Center. Oh, and here we got a few movie stars in the background here. I make out
who you got?
Cary Grant. That looks like Greta
Cary
Garbo.
Grant. That's not Garbo. I can't tell who it is, but my screen's a little fuzzy.
Well, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, but you're right. Those are famous.
Those are famous actors
from the past.
This is
Yeah.
a great scene where we kind of
I
realize.
wonder. I really do kind of want to. I feel like I should know where this place is, but where this location is, but I don't.
There's the Woody Allen Pages is a website. It's like a fan site where there's a section.
I'm not a dweeb. I don't follow things on the internet.
Well, it's a fan.
I try to not use anything related to the internet when it comes to my interest. Right.
Well,
I try to do things myself.
Shut the fuck up for a second. The point I was making is that on that website, there's a section where all the locations, there are listed locations used in every film ever. But I don't think of Woody Allen's, I should say specifically. But I don't think there's one for Rainy Day in New York yet. So you should be the one to just put those up there. Let the people know. And then we can find out where this restaurant bar type area is.
Yeah, it's more of an event space, if you ask me. But yeah.
It's an event space with a lot of sit down areas for drinks and cocktails. So
it's an event space.
My point, exactly. There's a bar though. We see a bar, so that you have to assume that the bar is open when there isn't an event going on, right?
I don't know. It seems to me like the kind of place that would just host parties, and not like general public come in. But I could be wrong.
That's right. That's very bourgeois kind of place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where film executives go and mingle with young starlets.
Right. Film directors, screenwriters.
Trying to get me too'd.
Trying to get me too'd, all going after a young girl out of college.
Yeah. It's a big theme of this episode, isn't it?
It's big. Well, that's what happens when you bring up Woody Allen, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you done a Woody Allen film yet on this?
No, this will be the first one.
This is the first one?
Really, we should do more. We should do all of them, really.
Yeah.
In preparation for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really funny scene where she gets hit on.
Really great. Really great.
Really great. She gets hit on by the director, Willem Pollard, then by the screenwriter. And then finally she goes home with Diego Luna, the actor. Francisco Vega is the character's name.
Yep. You got it.
Really, it just seems like the actor's name could be Francisco Vega. Honestly, it's not that much of a stretch. Diego Luna, Francisco Vega.
Potato.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Tomato. Yeah.
Tomato. Let's see.
You can't really tell in the background. I think that is Rock Hudson, though, by the way.
One of the images is definitely Rock Hudson. I thought one of them was James Dean, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's very
possible.
It's possible. It's not really important either way.
There you go.
You're really good. Oh man. Oh, he
Brilliant.
does
And
have,
look, and you see her watch, although I don't think it's a watch, it's like a bracelet with some kind of lock on it.
so
Interesting.
he does
Interesting.
in the book. He has a couple pages. Here's Cherry Jones, the mother,
There
in
she
a
is.
wonderfully gouge outfit. Quite honestly,
Look at
man,
this place. I mean, look at that. Could you imagine growing up in this place?
the
Like,
grand stairwell for a grand home. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
he does devote a couple of pages to A Rainy Day in New York. It seems. I don't.
Read them.
I may not be able to read all of it in time because it is actually quite a bit. But let me go through the first couple of paragraphs. A Rainy Day in New York. I always wanted to shoot Manhattan in the rain. Do a whole story that takes place on one rainy day. I don't know what it is with me and rain. When I wake up in the morning and open the blinds and it's raining or gray and drizzly or at least overcast, I get a good feeling. Same, Woody. I feel the same way. When it's sunny, I feel depressed. Same. And the city is so beautiful in the rain, under cloudy skies. Don't know why. It's been suggested that it's the objective correlative of my inner state. My soul is overcast. So I hired Elle Fanning, Selena Gomez, Timothée Chalamet, Liev Schreiber, Diego Luna, Jude Law, and the fabulous Cherry Jones, and made this romantic, improbable tale. It's about two college seniors in New York on a weekend and the romance between them. Naturally, since the movie is A Rainy Day in New York, the sun was out every day when we needed gray skies and rain, and all the rain in the movie was supplied by our own rain towers and water tanks. Seeing that this is all coordinated falls to Helen Robin, who makes the whole picture happen from budgeting it to getting a crew, negotiating deals for locations. Do you know where this is? Do you want to say where this is? Do you know?
I don't actually know where this is. This is probably somewhere in Soho, but I don't know.
Seems like it.
I don't know the exact spot. Yeah.
Yeah, making
God,
nice
sorry.
decisions, getting everybody fed, and attending to all the post-production work that needs to get done. The editing, music, prints, rating. She even types my scripts and has been doing it for 40 years. It's truly a 24/7, 365 days a year job filled with nothing but crises and aggravation. But if she didn't have aggravation, she couldn't worry. And if she couldn't worry, her enjoyment of life would vanish. Before her, for years, Bobby Greenhut did it and also did it well. And I recall he was always riddled with anxiety about the budget and about going over schedule and about reshoots. If it wasn't for his anxiety, he'd get no aerobics at all. All the three leads in Rainy Day were excellent and a pleasure to work with. Timothée afterward publicly stated he regretted working with me and was giving the money to charity. But he swore to my sister he needed to do that as he was up for an Oscar for Call Me By Your Name, and he and his agent felt he had a better chance of winning if he denounced me, so he did. Wow.
Bullshit.
Anyhow, I didn't regret working with him, and I'm not giving any of my money back. Selena was adorable. She had all the hard stuff to do, and she knocked it off beautifully. Elle is simply a great natural talent like Keaton. Wow.
That's quite a compliment.
When reporters pressured her, trying hard to get her to say she regretted working with me, she told them she wasn't even born when the allegation was made and has no opinion. An honest reply. More people should have said, I really don't know all the facts, so I have to withhold my judgment. All right, Woody. God forbid anyone should say this accusation has been thoroughly investigated and found to be. Well, now, okay, he's going back to the allegation.
And then does he go into the whole thing at this point?
No, this is the very end. This is the end.
I know.
But let's see. Although I'm told Joe Behar did make that point on TV. I should mention others who have been made aware and had come out publicly in my defense: Ray Liotta, Catherine Deneuve, Charlotte Rampling, Jude Law, Isabelle Huppert, Pedro Almodovar, Alan Alda, and I'm sure there are more that I just don't know of. Anyway, let's go back to. I'm saying this. Let's get back to the Rainy Day in New York stuff. As of now, unless some American distributor puts it out here, A Rainy Day in New York will still not be seen in the USA. But as of this recording, it has been shown. It's been released on VOD, streaming service, stuff like that. It hasn't been put in theater.
Yeah, I remember seeing the ad on Instagram and being shocked. I was like, oh, it's finally arrived. This was recently too.
Right. And then he goes into a little bit after this about a film, his next film, which is Rifkin's Festival, which at the time of his writing, he had not gotten the title yet. Let's see. After Rainy Day, I embarked on my next film, and I found it was hard to cast, probably because of the allegation stuff. Their gestures, clearly a number of actors thought they were doing a noble thing, rejecting offers to appear in my film. Their gesture might have been meaningful if indeed I were guilty or something, but since I was not, yes. They were just persecuting an innocent man and helping to confirm Dylan's implanted memory. All right. There we go, Woody. This is clearly something that has affected his life. It makes sense that he would bring this up quite a bit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. Does he have anything to say about the movie itself? Okay, even under ideal.
Did you finish the book?
I did, but it's been a while since I've read it, so I'm have to go through it again.
Yeah.
Under ideal circumstances, making a decent film is an endless series of landmines. When presented with additional obstacles, the goalposts are pushed away way back. Apart from my usual small budget, there was, as I described, a paucity of actors willing to throw their lot in with a toxic personality. Fortunately, Wally was not among them. Wally being Wallace Shawn, of course. Still, I was filming in Spain, and the Spanish tax laws required me to use a large percentage of actors from the EU. While so many of them are wonderful, few speak good enough English to nail the one-liners like the guys at Lindy's. Then there was the fact that I was up to my neck in a lawsuit against Amazon, plus the press was constantly writing about me as though I was actually guilty of something. Let's see. So yeah, it was a rough time, clearly, for Woody to make that film.
Yeah.
So how will Rifkin's Festival, oh, he did actually have the title by then. So how will Rifkin's Festival, my project in Spain, turn out? Who knows? But I do know that it was fun to do and great to hear Wally say my lines. The lesson here, I suppose, is that some men can thrive under pressure. I, of course, am not one of them, and if the movie turns out well, it will be a miracle. And will the films of my golden years, quote unquote, now play everywhere but the nation in which I am an honest, upright, tax-evading citizen? Who knows? Who cares? Not I, and certainly not audiences with plenty of other fine movies to entertain them. And so it goes. Yeah, that's all excerpt at the end of Rainy Day.
Apropos of nothing right there.
Apropos of nothing, truly. Can we also just say, this is a side note, and I think it's okay to objectify her in this instance, but this is probably one of the few times where Elle Fanning comes off as sexy, too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Totally, absolutely.
I mean, I mean, that scene specifically, but I mean, throughout the whole movie. I mean, he's not wrong, the Timothee's character, when he talks about like how sexy she is, right? Earlier in the film. She somehow exudes it, even though I don't think that's actually true of Elle Fanning. And I don't quite know where it comes from, unless it's from whatever Woody's doing with her, right?
Right, which is supposedly nothing. Which is supposedly
yeah.
This is in some ways, you can argue this is the scene that makes the film. Some would say.
Mhm.
The people who've seen it, who actually like the film, would say.
This is what ties it all together right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Presumably anyone who's listening to this has seen the film, so we don't have to worry about not talking about what happens. But basically, Cherry Jones's character admits that she was at one point a prostitute before she was this kind of uppity, upper class, bourgeois kind of socialite mother. And that's why
we now understand why she'd like to be painted like Madame X.
Exactly.
Sergeant painting, because we don't actually know who Madame X is.
In exactly that.
Probably a prostitute in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
We have a little bit of a rain coming through the window at this point too, playing into the scene.
There's just a touch in the background.
Just a touch in the background. Rain does play.
This is really what life is. This scene, if you really think about it, this is what life is about. This is the change. This is the change.
Yes.
He's turning into a different human being as we're watching him change at the moment. This is what movies are. This is what life is.
Wow, Tommy, you're going off the rails here. You're really yeah, no, I agree. What can any of us say? That is true though. This is definitely the turning point scene of the film. It's the climactic scene, right? He confronts his mother, who up until this point has been antagonistic in his life, he feels. But now
I mean, for the whole first 2/3 of the movie, she doesn't appear, and yet she's a phantom. You know, she's this terrible figure in his life.
Yeah, from the very beginning of the film,
you can't say a nice thing about. Yeah, exactly.
Talks about how his mother just forces him to do these things and read these books. Now he resented her for it, which is also a very bourgeois thing to resent, isn't it? A mother who was there who made him read books.
God, I mean, it sounds like what my mother did.
Very waspy character. Yeah, it's truly just like that on the main.
My only problem with the scene is on the reverse with him is there's that screen in the shot. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like it kind of throws off the composition to me. So that's just me.
I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah. Well, we got the great push in. This is the wonderful moment. That screen in the background right there
Oh, I
kind of
get
throws
that.
me off.
Okay, I see.
But it's a minor point, you know. It's a minor thing.
Yeah, he does. Samuel Loquasto really is also another reason why so many of his films are so good, isn't it?
Totally.
It's better serviced. It's not, again, it's not as, it's more subtle here, but it's better serviced in films like Sweet and Lowdown or Radio Days, where so much of it is production design that's period, or like they have to recreate.
Well, I mean, I would say that, yeah, like
more impressive.
any period piece is more impressive because you have to acquire all of these things. You have to make it look like the time. That is the challenge of a period piece. But the challenge of a contemporary setting is that you have to make it look real. You have to make it feel like today. And maybe that computer screen or monitor or whatever the fuck that is makes it look modern or whatever. But what's great about this scene, amongst most of the scenes in this movie, is that it doesn't even matter. You don't need to look at it because you buy it. You know, that's the point. That's the point of what the background is. That's the point of what her dress is. You know, that's the point of what his outfit is.
Yeah, it's
which you are wearing right now. You know,
I am wearing. Actually, no, he changed into another outfit which is slightly different.
Oh yeah, good point.
He's got like he wears 3 different outfits in this movie, of which I can probably duplicate at least 2 of them.
Can you duplicate this one? He's got what, like a black tie, black knit tie?
Is that right? One I can at the moment duplicate just because it's because of the black tie. I don't know the black tie, but he begins the movie with like that.
We could get you one. Oh
no, it's like green and brown, green striped and brown. Yeah. That's very.
Looks like a oh god, what is that guy's name? That's not gonna. It doesn't matter. It's the Plaza. It's the Plaza Hotel. Not this entrance, but if you recall from Metropolitan, this is where most of the dances take place. There's that wonderful scene where they talk about how it reminds them of Tolstoy. That's where that shot is.
That's wonderful.
The Plaza. This is back at Bemelman's.
Right, back at Bemelman's. This is this in the basement of the hotel, you think, or?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I don't think so. I think this is. I think it's probably there's like an entryway or something that blocks off the light.
Right, and to the right.
But I don't know. But I honestly don't know.
Yeah, he's I was gonna say something, but it wasn't that important.
Sorry, did I cut you off? I'm
No,
sorry.
you didn't cut me off. It's just the moment the scene is beautiful and it caught me off. Caught me off guard. Here comes the planning coming in stage left. Yeah, another good example of just really good composition and good blocking and how it's like a master. It's just a master. I think there are close-ups in the scene. There's like cuts to close-up, but in general, a lot of the film is framed and staged in this way, and it works so well.
I don't actually think there is a close-up. I think this is it.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll see. But I think you're right.
We'll find out.
It feels like a close-up, though, right? It
does. I mean, you get the idea. You get the idea of what's going on. You know, and you don't need a close-up necessarily.
No.
We'll see if he does it, though. When I think of Woody in editing, I don't think of it as a technique to, I don't know, put a button on a scene or something. It's more if he cuts, it's because there's some kind of, error or something like that he needs to get away from. He only cuts when he needs to.
Yeah, there's no close up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess I can't duplicate this.
Pierre.
Look at this. He's got 4 outfits. I forgot this last one.
Oh yeah, well, you have salmon colored pants now, don't you?
I do actually have something. I don't have that kind of.
You could imitate it. It wouldn't be exact.
No, I could actually. That wouldn't be difficult. God.
The salmon colored pants. Let me tell you, it's one of the things that I'm questioning with you. But if you pull them off, I haven't seen you with them in person. But if you pull them off well,
that's true.
Then I have no room to speak. Then.
Well, it's way more summer attire, not really.
Sure. Yeah, it's not a winter thing. It's not exactly fall either, but it is. But of course, we're in fall with this movie. Early fall.
Got his
late summer.
A
Interesting. I wonder if you actually. I wonder if they would be upset with him at the actually at the Pierre if he was smoking, or if they would say anything, or if they would just bill him extra.
That's a good question. Well, we'd have to go to the Pierre and smoke with a cigarette holder to see if they'd notice and charge us.
Well, I don't want to do that because it's probably incredibly expensive to stay there, and I don't have that much money anyway. So
Yet we don't have that much money yet.
I don't think I'll ever have that much money. But thank you.
Oh, we don't have to be Timothy Chalamet rich in the film. I mean Gatsby Wells. We don't have to be Gatsby Wells rich.
We just got to have 20 big ones.
Yeah, score 20 big ones in a poker.
Yeah, what is gambling money anyway? It's not real.
Yeah,
We'll just go all out. We'll go all out.
That's right. It's made to be.
Okay, that's one of the things that we didn't really talk about with him, is how he's like trying to do Woody. What do you think about his Woody? I mean, he's of all of the actors that he is cast in his role, Woody's cast in his role, what he would have played, right? He, I think, is the most trying to actually be like Woody, and I don't hate it. I buy it actually, because I feel like young people would want to imitate Woody if they actually liked him.
I think that's probably why we identify with the film so much, is that these are young people who feel like they're old people at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's it's like I get it. These like people our age would be listening to vinyl records of old things and quoting lines from black and white films, because we do that. Exactly. So it really is not that it's not as unbelievable as some have made it out to be.
Yeah, it's true.
But every hipster in a box is like this. Truly.
This, of course, we're in Central Park now.
Skies. Yeah.
What's that?
His line is, "I come into my own under gray skies."
Yeah.
Very
That's
Woody.
definitely you, and somewhat to extent me. I'd say you're more of a rain guy than I am, but
yeah. Well, you really can't trust people who like the sunshine. You can't trust.
Yeah,
them.
it's true. It's very true. You can't.
But sunlight gives you cancer, so it's like you want cancer. I don't know.
Everything our parents told us that's good for us is bad for us. Red meat, milk, college. Oh. I did that. I did that thinking that he talks about sunlight. But he doesn't, does he? No. By the way, you can see Columbus Circle in the background. That's what those two buildings are.
He does that right before. He says right before he does that little thing. He's like, "You come out to LA where get some sun." No, sun is bad.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You got it. Thanks for saving me there.
No problem.
Can you hurry? I think it's gonna rain.
Which and here we are in the final scene.
That's it.
Where is this, Tommy?
Oh yeah, that's right. This is also in Central Park. This is the Central Park Zoo. I think I can't remember what street it's close to. It's probably around like 68 or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, it was something like. Well,
I could be wrong about that.
It's in Central Park.
But yeah. The Delacorte clock.
The Delacorte clock. We were there last.
Which is interesting. I feel like I would see this in more movies, but I don't think I'd ever seen it in a movie before.
If it is in a film, it's probably it's an old one, or it's a very specific obscure reference. Really, even films that are set in or that take place in Central Park, I've not seen the Delacorte clock at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only movie I can think of that actually features the Central Park Museum. What's that?
Why would it be in a film like Cruising, for example? It wouldn't make sense, tonally.
Yeah, that's true. But the only movie I can think of that takes place in the park zoo, Central Park Zoo.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually take place there because it was an old movie. Is Cat People, the original one?
Yes.
She draws the Panthers or whatever the fuck she's drawing.
Right. And of course, the remake is set in New Orleans, so.
Not like a panther, but oh god, what's the line from the Bible? Liketh a panther or something like that. I don't remember. Whatever.
Here it comes.
Anyway, here you go. Oh, did you say that we were here?
Yeah, we were here. I did say
we were here. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we saw Sammy the Seal.
We did see Sammy the Seal.
Not actually Sammy the Seal, but it's from my childhood. Wonderful book, Sammy the Seal, Sid Hoff.
We saw a seal.
We saw seals. We saw several.
Plural.
Yeah, being fed, and it was also raining.
Yes, it was. It was perfect. It was very romantic when you and I went.
It was cold. It was pretty cold though. It was like
It was in the 50s.
It was like, well, I mean, it was like a warm January, but it was January.
It was
January,
February. It was late February.
January, February. Yeah, early February. Wait, really? It was late February?
Late February.
Jesus. don't remember any of that.
It's been almost a year, buddy. All right. Well, that's
Beautiful
the final
kiss.
shot. Beautiful final shot of the film.
Mhm.
And it ends the masterpiece, which is
Mhm.
New York.
And the dream comes true.
Right. We've only got a couple minutes left at the end credits. It's been
Mhm.
great watching this with you, Tommy. I don't know. Hopefully someone will hear this at some point and not turn it off in the first 10 minutes, 10 seconds, though I wouldn't blame them, wouldn't fault them for it.
Well, I mean, not in this climate.
No, I guess not. Or maybe we'll find that because of this climate, we're a well,
Get some more views on this
we're an
one.
oasis in the desert for some. For
Perhaps.
the old people who know how to use the internet, which are very few, if they stumble upon this, oh yeah, we like that movie too.
What are you talking about? They haven't seen it. They don't know how to. They don't know how to do
That's
a
right.
streaming.
They don't know how to go
yeah.
on VOD like iTunes Store.
Well, but actually, I don't know, maybe you're right, because maybe they'd be like, "Oh, we streaming. Oh, you can go to YouTube for that."
That's right. They'll accidentally stumble upon this video.
Yeah, and they'll watch this and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, it's been great. We should make a point of doing this again with Rifkin's Festival when it becomes available to us.
All right, sure.
All right.
I mean, I'm not sure what I have to say about that movie yet. So
Yet
I'm gonna,
you don't know what
it's
you have
just
to say
like
about it yet.
Sure, sure.
It says here, oh, was there a digital intermediate on this film too? Well, it was shot digitally. I don't know why there would be an intermediate for that.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what
Was
it
it
said.
shot digitally? Was
Yeah,
it shot digitally?
This was shot digitally, as I understand it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Digital composite.
I can't tell from the whatever rip you have of however you acquired this movie.
Yeah, legally through legal means, please. We have to put that as a
asterisk. Yeah.
an asterisk here, an addendum. This our copy of this one was acquired through legal means.
Exactly. Thanks, Woody.
Thanks, Woody. Let me tell you, if I could, it was showing in theaters here in Chicago and in Cincinnati.
Oh, did it? I didn't know.
It was
that.
like showing in 5 cities at one point.
How do you know that? Why do you know that? Why do you
I
know
know a
it was
lot of
playing in
random shit.
Cincinnati?
It was playing in one theater in Cincinnati and one theater here in Chicago, but not in New York, which is funny. But I didn't go to see it because it was in the middle of a pandemic, which is still technically going on. But if it
We're
wasn't,
currently living through it. Yeah.
I probably would have gone multiple times. In fact, it probably would have been the safest place because no one else would have gone to see it, right? So
Surely,
no one
yeah.
else would have been in there. Probably could have afforded to see it.
Exactly.
Well,
All
this
right.
has been Fabricio and Tommy for Background Noise. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.
Thank
Say
you.
goodbye. Bye.
Bye.